Hey folks, it's Belgrade Beat, and this is part of the discussion about Serbia letting other countries in, becoming a more international cosmopolitan country. We have an interesting comment here from somebody named Sluga, whose only video on his channel on YouTube sounds like this. Kinda funky. Anyways, Sluga writes, I think that Serbia should keep its core... keep its core culture because it is very interesting and unique, but if Belgrade becomes more international, that would be a great advantage as long as the whole country doesn't become a melting pot. Melting pot. I looked to Wikipedia so we can define this term melting pot. For those of you who do not know, the melting pot is a metaphor for a heterogeneous society becoming more homogeneous. The different elements melting together into a harmonious whole with a common culture, or vice versa, for a homogeneous society becoming more heterogeneous through the influx of foreign elements with different cultural background, with the potential creation of a disharmony with the previous culture. So, two sort of definitions here. I think what Sluga is kind of afraid of is that Serbia will lose its cultural unity by people of different ethnic minorities moving here and so on and so forth. But I would point out that the first one, where a heterogeneous society becomes more homogeneous, with the different elements melting together into a harmonious whole with a common culture, that is exactly what Serbia is. And that is exactly what has been happening since the Slavs came to the Balkans. You look at the Serbian culture, and it is not a pure Slavic culture. I'm sorry if anybody thinks it's a pure Slavic culture. You better check your head and get a ticket to Eastern Ukraine so you can see what a pure Slavic culture looks like. No, Western Ukraine is where you will see the best example of this, in my opinion. Eastern Poland, Western Ukraine, Slavic culture is the only thing on the menu, folks. And basically, I would say that Serbia is a great country, and I live here all because of the fact that Serbian culture is something that has been forged out of many cultures, that it is something that takes the best things out of all the different ethnic groups that have been here over history, the Latin influence, the Celtic influence, the Turkish influence, the German influence, all unified into a Slavic culture and language, the influence of Islam, the influence of Christianity, Judaism, etc., all unified into something that we call Serbian culture. So I would say that any fear of Serbia becoming a melting pot is a little unfounded, because I find since Serbia already has been a melting pot over history and become a unified culture, anybody who moves here feels it immediately. Like me, a Canadian of German and Ukrainian descent, comes here and feels welcome and unified into the Serbian culture, because people are so friendly and willing to share and include you in this culture, share the culture and include you in it. And this is what's special about Belgrade as a foreigner, because this culture is a melting pot, and you're very welcome to melt yourself into this society, and lots of us move here and do that and feel more at home than we ever did in our home country. Does that make sense at all? I mean, Serbia is a melting pot. So, Sluga, I like your comment. I like your funky tune. And the core culture of Serbia is already a conglomerate of many great things of many cultures. So don't worry. Even if you get, as you've seen with the refugees, they haven't really caused that much of a change in Serbian society moving through. But I guess you're afraid that people are going to move here from all these different countries that have little connection with Serbia, like China or, Indonesia or something, and form their own immigrant ghettos and change that. I don't really worry about that, mainly because they want to move to richer countries than this. And the ones that move here, and the people like me who are crazy enough to move here, we actually move here because we like the culture and want to be a part of it. So, Tell me what you think in the comments, folks. If you like this video, subscribe. What's the greatest thing about the Serbian melting pot, and what do you fear for the future if more people from other countries, like the ones that now don't require visa, like India, China, Iran, and Indonesia, what's your fear? What might happen if they move here in large numbers? I don't really fear anything, because I would love to see the whole thing unfold. And I think Serbian people will not tolerate any bullshit from minorities that doesn't fit the common Serbian culture, which I think is an open-minded and tolerant thing, which offers everybody a chance. Everybody a chance to fit in somehow. You can argue this with me. That's what the comments are for. Thanks a lot, Belgrade Beat. I'll talk to you later.